SeniorLivingGuide.com podcast discusses topics which are relevant to the everyday lives of seniors and their caregivers. We are joined by experts who share their knowledge on a variety of issues. SeniorLivingGuide.com podcast offers solutions and resources to create the best quality of life as we age. And now, let's welcome your host, Darleen Mahoney.
SeniorLivingGuide.com is the most comprehensive online resource for seniors and their caregivers. We provide details on senior living communities to include retirement, assisted living, independent living, skilled nursing, memory care, as well as senior resources, home and healthcare solutions, all in one easy-to-navigate website, allowing you to decide which best fits your needs and connect you directly in one easy step. Visit us online at SeniorLivingGuide.com and start your search today. And I would like to express our gratitude to our podcast sponsors, Transmed Care Long Distance Medical Transportation and GoGo Grandparent. When a loved one with a disability or medical condition needs to relocate, Transmed Care is here to help with safe and secure nationwide medical transport services, while GoGo Grandparent provides reliable local rides, no smartphones required, with all drivers and vehicles screened to meet your mobility needs. Check us out at SeniorLivingGuide.com podcast. We are making sure that our seniors are getting exactly where they need to go. And today we are joined by Tatyana and Natalia. They are co-founders for Dexit. It's a company located in Charlotte, North Carolina, and they provide legacy planning services for your online accounts, for all your online accounts, because your estate planning may have been planned for your tangible items, but honestly, planning for your online ones is a specialty that Dexit provides, and it's so important. So I'm excited to have both of you join the podcast today. And absolutely. And this topic is very near and dear to me, and it really is important. It's something that I don't think a lot of people talk about or think about, in all honesty. And for me, my heart goes out to this because my dad was diagnosed with dementia, and I was not able to access a lot of his things. And some of them he's passed away right before COVID. And honestly, I have never been able to access, some of his emails and some different things. So it was one of the hardest parts when you have to take care of someone that is no longer able to access their own information. It's like digging through dirt. So this is such a important subject to talk about. Tell me a little bit about why this is important to have all of your things in one place that are digital.
Yeah, so I think, when you think about traditionally, you would get paper bills in the mail, and you would get a lot more stuff that was tangible, meaning you can hold it and feel it and write on it. And those can be your pictures, that can be mortgage statements. Everything used to come through the mail, and it's been digitized. And so basically the work that an executor has to do is not only be a bit of a forensic detective on what stuff you had, but you also had to now you have to be able to find that stuff online. And you've got challenges that are devices. It could be computers, it could be your tablet, it could be your phone. There's challenges of access with passwords and codes. And then the big one is you don't even know what's there to begin with. So it's really important to do an inventory of what you have, which is the same thing you would do for all your other stuff, whether it's your jewelry or your car or your house, but you can see it a lot more easily than you can online.
Yeah, I know my dad had, and because he had dementia, he had 2 cell phones that he was paying for and clearly only using one. And then he actually had 2 cable companies and Dish, and clearly he was only using one. So that was a lot to kind of dig through and access that information in order, even with all the paperwork, in order to, as his, it just skipped my mind, executive of his estate or what have you. Power of attorney. I am so sorry. I'm like going, I know it's one of these words. The power of attorney, it allowed me to do all of those things. But a lot of those companies were really difficult to work with and I couldn't access and I didn't even know what he had until things started popping up and that type of thing. So you're absolutely right. They have changed quite a bit because everything is on your phone or on your computer. And nobody wants to send you statements anymore. I don't know that I get anything in the mail really, unless it's basically just junk mail or just, personal things. To be honest with you, it's just not a lot of anything out there anymore. So tell me a little bit to break it down. What is a digital asset? Because I think some people might be thinking very basic and in actuality, it's quite, a lot of different things that might be considered a digital asset.
Actually, digital asset, anything you have online which has a login. And it will include your money apps, your credit cards, your bank statements, your crypto, your social media accounts, your loyalty points, anything which has password and username. It is a digital asset. And you have to keep kind of track what you have online because we don't remember. Even I don't remember how many accounts I'm signed for.
Yeah, I know that I think there's like shop apps now. So there's people that have signed up for things they don't even know they've signed up for. When they're purchasing things on social media or different types of things like that. It's really interesting because all of a sudden there's all these things you have an account for. Maybe you didn't even know you had an account for it. Along with now people are, I call it cutting the cord. They're not watching traditional cable, but they're using streaming services. And those are all over the place.
Yeah. And then you also need to look at some of the memberships that are out there. So like Costco or BJ's, they may have a membership that allows you to shop at the store, but then they have travel programs. They have all sorts of other reward programs. And some companies, not Costco or BJ's, but some companies, when you sign up for their subscription service, also signs you up for other membership opportunities that are through third-party applications. So sometimes you're right. When you sign up for one thing, you've actually signed up for 5.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that even if you're a traveler, you end up signing up for, you want to get those hotel points, right? Yeah. I know I have 3 that I have to kind of keep track of, where my points are, my status, that kind of thing. So that's something that is a digital account or a digital asset.
That's right. And
okay.
Believe it or not, things like points, it's redeemable not just for a service or something online, but you can transfer points, for example, to family members, or you can even donate points and miles. There are companies that, take these donations and then make something out of them. So it never goes to waste per se, and you really should kind of at least make a plan for it, especially if you have a lot, because we have an example. There was a lady who had racked up like 300,000 miles. And, the family was able to get, I think it was $30,000 worth of Visa gift cards. They had to do the legwork, of course, but it's there. So yeah, it is a digital asset. And email could be too. Email and photos, they're of value to you. So it doesn't matter whether there's money sitting on there and it's a digital asset or not. It could be everything from your blogs, your vlogs, your YouTube account. If you're an influencer, you'll certainly have more value on these accounts that we don't typically think is, a digital asset per se.
Your family tree, your sentimental values, all your pictures of your grandkids, of your grandparents, actually, from 1940s.
Yeah.
It all holds value to you and to your kids and your grandkids.
Yeah, absolutely. It's exhausting, honestly, when I think about all the things that I never considered a digital asset that are digital assets. Any forms that you're saving. I have something that saves PDFs and is on my phone. That's something that I've never really thought about as far as being something that was important to kind of keep track of, that kind of thing. So let me ask you this question. Are apps that people would have on their phone, are those considered digital assets as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
They do have logins, so they consider to be digital assets, and they carry your personal data, your storage, your money, and you can keep money there, you can keep loyalty points, you can keep pictures, anything is there.
Mm-hmm. And I know that one thing that's really important, as Tatyana mentioned earlier, social. So you can have your, all your different social channels. I think that that's something, especially Facebook, it just seems to tend to lean that way a little bit more, that after someone passes away, you want to make sure that that is archived in a way that is healthy or good for the people that are their family members or their, followers or whatever the case may be. And it's not just a Facebook page that's not being managed.
Right. And actually, that's a good point, because so these companies, Facebook is a popular one, just like LinkedIn or Instagram. And each one of them have different sets of sort of rules as to what you can and cannot do with these accounts. And there's different terms for these directives. We call them directives. So when we ask you, for example, what account do you have, and you say Facebook, the next question you need to decide is, what's the directive for your account? And so Facebook specifically has an option to delete the account and download your data. And the reason you would want to do that is because those pictures that you've posted there, if something happens to you and it becomes an inactive account, you can't take those back. You can't download them. You can't take them home and put it on a hard drive where you'd save it for your kids. The other thing they do is something called memorialization, and that's another directive option. And so memorialization is when, basically, think of a billboard and it's a static image. So you can't interact with the page. You can't write on the page, but it also won't send reminders of your birthday or anniversary to your friends. So it's still open and available, but it's static. And each company has their own sort of sets of rules. It's in the terms of service, but that's something that we tend to never read when we open up an account. And so we've done a lot of homework for you in this matter, and that's why we can help tell you what your directive options are so that you can make these plans.
Yeah. So kind of keeping some of that in mind, what we're talking about, what Dexit provides is a service that you guys do that basically takes all of these things that are like all across, the digital world and puts them in one place so that it makes an ease for yourself to be able to access those in one place, in one location. And I want to say hallelujah to that, because to me, that's just an amazing option. It's a lot. It can absolutely 100% be a lot, because we are using cash apps now. We're using social media accounts. We're using PayPal. We're using things we don't even know that we have, to be honest with you. And so it really is it's just incredible when you think about it. It kind of hurts your brain. But not only is that convenient for you while you're still utilizing all of these digital assets, but also if you were to become impaired, cognitive, or, decline or anything like that, and unable to remember passwords or remember what you have or all these different things, and that's something that you can set up your power of attorney or whatever the case may be. You can get into that a little bit more if you'd like, where they have access to it. So if you pass away or anything, else happens to you medically, it's not an issue. All these things can be dealt with appropriately.
Yeah, it's a huge burden for the executor if they don't have it.
Yes, because think about it. We catalog your every account and we assign the directives. You assign the directives, and we provide those directives based on what is available from each company. And we give the recommendations how it can be dealt with. So you have everything in one place. Your kids don't have to go and look what you had where. They already have the knowledge about it. And they have also all the recommendations how to deal with any of those accounts.
Right.
based on your directive space, what you want to do with those accounts.
Right. Oh, that's perfect. It's almost like a digital will.
Yes, it is a digital will.
Hi, this is Andrew Brainerd, owner of TransMedCare Long Distance Medical Transportation. We are proud to help make this podcast possible. When a loved one under medical care needs to relocate, TransMedCare is here to help. We offer the very best in nationwide medical transport with fully appointed vehicles and a team of caring medical professionals. At TransMedCare, nothing is more important than bringing your loved one home safely. Visit our website at trans-medcare.com.
We at GoGo Grandparent are so excited to be joining this podcast. With just one call to GoGo, you or a loved one can request a reliable ride anywhere you want to go. No smartphone required. All drivers and vehicles are screened and monitored to meet your mobility needs and can accommodate impairment equipment, such as a walker or a wheelchair. Plus, GoGo membership offers concierge services on meals and grocery delivery, as well as home services, which can include maintenance on your home, cleaning, gardening services. To learn more or sign up for GoGo, call 1-855-970-6294 or visit gogograndparent.com/SeniorLivingGuide.
Okay. Yeah, no, that explains everything so perfectly. That's simple. It's just a digital will of all of your assets that you would have, and it's all buttoned up. I love buttoned
up. And you
up.
would think it's a big or heavy task, but actually the way we inventory your accounts is through a 5 to 8 minute questionnaire. It's a dynamic questionnaire, so you just have to sit down and take it once. We recommend you take it once a year just to refresh your inventory. But then that's it. That's all you have to do, because we do not ask for usernames or logins or passwords. We're not a password bank. We actually provide the guidance and consulting that you need to make this digital will of sorts. And I don't want it to sound like it's a will online, because it's actually a will based on these online accounts. So,
right. Distinguishing between the two. Yes. It can be a little bit tricky for sure. So do we talked about the terms of service, and you're absolutely right. Nobody reads all that stuff. First of all, it's so much, and you've got to scroll. But a lot of times they make you check it. Yep. So that you're owning it. So do you know is that one of the things that you guys do is look through those terms of services so you can kind of provide those important bullet points?
Absolutely. That's what we do. We did the research for you, so you don't have to do it. We read every term of service for each company you have in our database, and you don't even have to write anything when you take the questionnaire. You just have to click. Okay, I have account here, I have account there. So it's very user-friendly, very fast, and kind of comprehensive.
Does this also include all the images that might be saved in the cloud as far as pictures and things like that?
Yes.
Yeah. So the dynamic questionnaire is kind of categorized into sort of 7 main chapters, let's say. And the first one focuses on payments and where you might have money online. And so what's interesting about this is that we're not just talking about your bank account because you bank with, let's say, Bank of America, and you can log in. You might have, money sitting on Venmo, right? And Venmo may not be on your computer, but it'll be on your phone, but you still have an account there. We also look at insurance companies. What companies have you purchased insurance with that your executor may need to deal with? We also have some cryptocurrency questions, because that's a very different sort of way to store information, and your finance, balance on crypto also depends on sort of what platform you have it on and what country it's based in. We also look at biodata and health. We look at travel and loyalty programs. We have some questions on social media, video storage, photo storage, emails is a big one. And then we also look at telephone and web services, like the streaming services you mentioned. We look at gaming services, because those are also streaming, and there's sometimes money sitting there as well. And also gambling, at least in our state, is now legal. So we have more accounts that we've opened up. And we also look at platforms where you may have, memberships like Costco, BJ's, things like that. So
Amazon Prime.
yeah, it's very comprehensive, but it's quick to do. So that's the perk, that you can actually manage to do this. It shouldn't feel overwhelming.
Right. And even people pay for podcast services. So that's actually another one for those that are listening today.
Yes.
So yeah. Absolutely. So I think that that's just, it really is. I just keep thinking about it going, we just keep adding on different layers of what is considered a digital asset, where it's not just, your bank account or a Facebook page. It really does go significantly deeper than that. And it can be really complicated. I cannot, my dad wasn't a tech savvy person, so much. So I didn't have a lot of like the deeper layers of things like the shopping apps, the Venmos, those types of things. Clearly he had email and bank accounts and then all the home services that, a normal person would typically have, but he wasn't getting bills for those. And I couldn't access his email. So I really was digging through a lot of dirt to try to figure it out. And this would have been, oh my gosh, a lifesaver. Cause I do remember I had to turn off his DirecTV after I moved him out of his home, and they would not help me. I mean, they literally would not help me, and they kept billing him. And I said, I'm not paying these bills. He doesn't live there anymore. The home is for sale. I said, he has dementia. I said, I don't know what to tell you, but you have to stop billing him. And I had requested multiple times. It was so annoying. And they said to me, well, if you can guess his password, we'll do it for you. And I'm like, oh, Lord have mercy. And it was, what's his favorite musician or band or something? And I'm like, yeah, he's 71 years old. I mean, Elvis? I mean, I'm really just like thinking, I have no idea. And I'm literally I'm on the phone crying because I've got a million other things I have to do. I have to get his financials settled, all kinds of crazy, get him out of his house, sell his house, deal with him, all these things. It was just overwhelming. And I'm starting to cry because I've just had my fill of this. And it occurred to me that as I was growing up, every Sunday, my dad and mom would play ABBA. And I said, ABBA? And he said, you guessed it. And I literally I broke down. It was like the floodgates opened, because that was it. So that was the end of that with the DirecTV. But oh my gracious.
I can only imagine the hours that were spent on hold with companies and just trying to figure out what you needed to do in the first place. And it's not at a time where, anybody has or wants to spend that type of time doing that type of work. It's a very sort of difficult position to be in as the executor. So I do think it's important. I mean, I know that with my parents, I've done the same thing. I said, please take this questionnaire because something will come where I need to step in and help you out. So anybody can do it. I would do it myself for my kids. And just so you know, some of these companies actually have legacy plans, and you need to dig a little in the dirt, but you will find that there are legacy options where if you do not assign a legacy as a person in the sort of the backbones of the app or account, you will never have access to it. So Apple is notorious for that. There's an Apple Legacy Contact. You can put it in through your phone and under sign in and security. And if it's not there, Apple's going to be very difficult to get any, because they take their privacy very seriously.
Right. As well as they should. But yeah, no, I absolutely get that. And I know that when my mom passed away, I was her legacy on her Facebook. So I do manage that legacy page on Facebook. But I do know that I did have a friend that unexpectedly passed away of an aneurysm in the middle of the night, and no access has been made to his Facebook page. So I still will get reminders that it's his birthday. And then it was sad for me to see all the people that said happy birthday and he'd been deceased for like 5 months. Because they didn't know. Yeah. So that was just very, very strange. So there are Facebook pages, social media accounts, all these things that if you pass away and no one knows, they're just hanging out in no man's land.
Yes, they will be there forever, and any company, any hacker can use your data. And your history can be rewritten with the push of a button, basically. And for example, if you were a lawyer in present life, somebody can make you a plumber. Somebody else.
Yeah. In fact, a recent story, and this may be thanks or not thanks to all the developments in AI, but a young person, or our age, I don't know what we are, but she had met someone online and was talking and befriending through video calls, so not a problem. And there was one red flag, which was that every time she called him, he would text back, "Hold on, let me call you back." But her friends did some online research and digging around, and they had used a member of the military. They used his name, all his information that he had, and she was just blindsided that it was a real person, but it was a dead person, and it was their stuff that was taken online. So it is really important to memorialize or delete some of these accounts, because you never know what happens afterwards.
No, I know. And on this podcast, we've done a couple on fraud, AI specific, and it is getting ridiculously smart and very scary on the fraud side when it comes to AI. Yeah. So for sure. And I can only imagine like the dating apps that are scamming, especially older people in general, how they're just loving the AI as far as being able to.
And that's why it's important to protect your family legacy. So even if you're just doing this for your executor, hold on a second there. You're protecting your kids and your grandkids, because this data doesn't go away. It's still there and it's live. And actually, at some point in time, these big companies like X and Facebook, they're going to have to do something. So it costs money to store all these user accounts. And I'm just going to read you a statistic. And this is not just fraudulent accounts, but Facebook is projected to have the largest number of deceased accounts by 2100, which is an estimated 278 million profile users. Mm-hmm. And they're not going to store your photos forever, those millions of users.
No, and people don't print their photos. That's one of the reasons why I asked about the photos, because I used to do scrapbooks. So I used to print all of my pictures, put them in scrapbooks. I know that when I used to go visit my mom, that was one of the favorite things that my sister and I would do, was sit on the couch and flip through my mom's albums, right? People don't print pictures anymore. They don't create the albums unless they are digital. I know people are going more towards the digital, which honestly I think is very sad, but I mean, I'm right there with them, so I can't point any fingers. But having all those images lost if you don't do something about it, because my parents did print everything, and I have buckets of pictures of my family from over the years, even people black and whites, I don't even know who they are. But my dad kept everything. And I think it's super important to be able to have that and look back and share that with because we're going to lose generations if we don't do that.
Absolutely.
Yes. Think about your iCloud. Now everybody has pictures on iCloud. You lose access to iCloud. Your kids will not be able to have their, infant photos, their childhood photos. So everything will be lost.
Yeah. Their high school graduations, their birthdays, just the everyday things, which sometimes are the best memories. All of that would be lost. And what did I even look like as a baby? I don't even know anymore because it's gone.
I know.
Yeah. It's crazy. I think this is really kind of the first generation that has had that as part of, as a
speaking
problem.
of losing things, on the flip side, when you pass away and your credit cards are beginning to be closed, what happens is, if we don't have this inventory, there might be subscriptions out there that you actually need to keep paying for your kids. And that's why we ask about biodata. And I'll give you an example. Let's say that you had stem cord blood saved for your kids. They're in a bank somewhere, or it could be other DNA, it doesn't matter. But the point is that continuously needs to be paid because it's a refrigerated specimen that your kids might need. And so when your credit card on file isn't going through anymore and they can't find you and no one's contacted them, there's something that needs to be done there. It's not the dead end. Then what do? They have to either send your whatever it is in that company. You've signed terms of agreements, and its fate is determined by that. So it's important to make sure that things that do need to be paid can still be, kept going. Not the subscription that you always want to deal with, but it's really important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And one of the things that I feel like is important as well is if you have storage that you're paying, it's so crazy. Every time something new goes up, it seems to be either a car wash or storage facilities. So knowing if there's storage and keeping that on track as well, because there may be things in there that are family heirlooms or things that are really important to the family or that type of thing. And if they don't know about it because they're not receiving the information, then that's something that could actually if the bill is not paid on that, if you were to pass away or not be able to pay that bill any longer, then those items, I could be completely wrong, but I think that they are able to auction those off if you do not pay your bill after a specific amount of time.
I think it's 3 months and they will sell it on auction.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, what's a subscription that sounds kind of old but is still relevant is AOL. It's a paid service,
email,
$10 a month, and that's your email account.
I had no idea, so I learned something new today.
Yes, they still have 1.5 million paying members.
Wow. That is crazy. I don't know anyone that has AOL anymore. But
apparently I know 1.5 million people.
I was going to say it's clearly out there, but it's a subscription based. I did not know that either.
So those are important reasons to do this little inventory. And it's the start of everything, really.
Right. And when you're utilizing Dexit, is it turnkey? So you're able to just take that questionnaire, take that, and you're able to create something for that person that's easy to access. And then how do they share the information with their power of attorney or whatever the case may be? Is that something that you're involved in as well, or is that something that they do on their own?
We can be involved if you want to hire us as a consultant, but it is a turnkey because we produced a disclosure report which outlines all your accounts with assigned directives. And the second report is kind of a recommendation analysis report where we give you step by step what to do within each company, how to achieve those directives. It saves thousands of dollars and hours for your kids. So they don't have to go and look through each company's terms of service to find out how to deal with it. We already give you what documentations will be needed, what links. Just click on this link or call this phone number. Be ready with death certificate or obituary or whatever documentation this company will need. And that's the process.
No, that's absolutely fabulous. So just out of curiosity, did either one of you have a personal story that kind of led you to have the need to know that this was a need, or have the wherewithal to know that this was a need?
I think it was a culmination of things. I think COVID was a big proponent of starting something and seeing that there was a need. And I think too, as parents, we are also watching our kids open up lots of accounts. I remember that I had to download Snapchat because my daughters don't use texting. And I was like, well, texting is so basic. And, with my parents, their mode of communication is through email. And so there's this generational gap, and the accounts that are just coming at us all the time was just astounding. And so we realized that we're going to have a job. We're the sandwich generation where we have to take care of our parents and our kids. And we can't do that without understanding the accounts that they have. So part of it was personal. Part of it was our friends and family members. And I think it was kind of ignited with COVID. But we've spent a lot of time researching and finding out how to help executors, but plan in advance. So education and spreading the word is sort of our motto now, because it's much easier to have this digital plan in advance.
Yeah. Everything's going digital.
Yes.
It's unavoidable. It just is what it is. So you can bucket all you want, but it's not going to change. So, and I know some folks really would like it to go away, but I don't see it happening anytime soon, if ever.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, is there any other closing remarks that you wanted to share before we signed off? And then we'll share the info on how to connect with Dexit to learn more information if it's something that our listeners might be interested in, because you service nationwide, correct? Anybody anywhere?
Yep.
Okay, you're based out of Charlotte, but that doesn't mean that someone in California can't utilize you.
Absolutely not. I guess the thing for me is our name is Dexit, and the reason it's Dexit is that D is for digital, and then E is for exit. So we're kind of your digital exit strategy. So I think.
Oh, I love it. I did not know that. So I love that. That's a perfect reason why you would name it. So it's Dexit, DEXIT.com or .org?
Actually, it's DexitCorp.com, because that's another story. But it's DEXITCORP, P as in Paul.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that sounds fabulous. And within the description and content of the podcast, that link will be found there as well. So anyone that's listening, if you missed it, you're good to go. Just click into the description and it will be there. And that's on anything that you're listening to, whether it be a paid subscription podcast or Spotify, which can be paid as well, Apple, anywhere that you listen to music, that description will have that link in there. And until then, thank you so much, ladies. I really, really have enjoyed having you on the podcast with such relevant information to almost 2025 right now. So I do appreciate it. And if any of you listeners enjoy this podcast, we can be listened anywhere you enjoy podcasts, such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Good Pods. We are also found on babyboomer.org. Thanks for listening.